Hey everybody, welcome to Chowbox Reviews. I'm Stan with my lovely wife Tanya here again, coming to you from Whitford Cinema. Event Cinema, the fine people at Event Cinema have asked and invited us to do a review on
Shazam!
And it's going to be really good to say that this is a DC film that's not dark, but it has some dark moments in it. It's going to be spoiler free for the first few minutes.
Yeah.
But pretty much this is for me on par with Iron Man 1. This is fun. It's a nice little origin story. It's got a lot of things that aren't really you don't expect, but pretty much what do you think so
I thought
far?
it was really fun. A lot of color, very different from the other DC movies. This is just a really good standout start to their new kind of progress on what they're going to be doing for the future. So I'm really happy that they made it light, they made it funny and nice and colorful.
And pretty much this is, I think they're trying to send a message with this specifically, because they're like, hey, by the way, we're not going to go dark and Batman and Man of Steel and Aquaman was kind of not so dark.
It was breaking through, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and Aquaman kind of brought through kind of more of a light heart to it, and this one just kind of really shone.
I think this is kind of one of those, the first real non-Zack Snyder kind of interpretation of everything's going to be dark, real, gritty. But now this is just no, we're going to have fun. It's worked 1,000 times over with all the Marvel films, but they make it really clear this is a DC film because the amount of references they do in this.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a wink at the fans as well, some of the things they put in here. I think Zach Levy did a pretty good job.
Him just playing a kid because he's so childlike as an actor, I thought it was brilliant.
And if you enjoyed Big with Tom Hanks,
they do play homage to it. Even in the trailer, they have it. So.
And there's also a few people in there, the kid from Stranger Things.
Yes.
He's in there, and I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
He was kind of that heart of the film.
It was Jack Dylan Garzam or something like that.
I can't
can't
remember
remember
exactly.
his last name, but it was Jack Dylan.
Yeah. A good mate of ours who's watched Stranger Things, Leo. Screw it.
Leo?
It's Leo. Hey, Leo. Pretty much, he was saying Stranger Things is great, all these kids and stuff, and I think he's going to really enjoy this because I think anyone can go to see this. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a family movie because there's some really brutal.
I would say bring your kids.
Maybe
older kids.
Yeah, over
kids.
10.
Yeah, about 10.
And pretty much, there is some pretty gruesome moments and some pretty heartbreaking moments as well. I don't want to spoil it. We'll get into spoilers in a minute, but all in all, I think there was the pacing at the start was kind of a little bit slow for me. But
I thought it was all right.
All origin movies, we have to have that setup. We have to have.
You got to have that journey for them to actually get to the end.
And there's also a lot of unexpected things that happen towards that end, which is really kind of interesting. But
we kind of nerd out a little bit with all the bits and pieces in the movie.
I think fans will be happy with this.
Yeah.
A lot of the references and things that they jam into this are pretty cool, but I'd say it is a cinema film.
Yeah,
go to the cinemas and see it. Go to Event Cinemas and see it. We saw it in VMAX. I think you can see this in gold class and standard cinema and stuff. But the special effects and everything aren't the best ever.
Yeah.
There's certain things that happen in it that you're just ugh, that's a little bit. You can tell this was I think the first DC film in years that has been only $100 million budget. Other ones have been BVS, 200 million.
Yeah.
Justice League, 300 million. They actually pulled it back. And I think when you blow the budget out to the point where you're just okay, you're giving up more control. So you got studio heads or whoever turning around saying, oh, we want to put this in there, put this in there, put that in there.
Yeah.
We're going to sell merchandise, put this in there. I think the director and the writers had a lot of creative control in this because there was so many things that happened in this. Maybe it wasn't cut as perfect as a lot of previous hero films and origin stories, but all in all, I think it's definitely worth
I
watching.
didn't have any problems with it. There was obviously some CGI problems on bits and pieces, but nothing too terrible.
Nothing that kind of it does take you out a little bit of like the
Yeah,
film, just a
yeah,
tiny
yeah.
bit. But then a joke comes up and you're like, ah, that's cool. But do you want to get into spoilers?
Spoil this sucker.
All right.